London's Metropolitan Police have a reputation for being among the toughest cops in the country. And the cops in Hammer Smith and Fulham are no exception. Their West London patch is a battleground for a war on crime, and they're winning. Their zero-tolerance approach has left drug dealers, robbers, and street gangs with nowhere to hide.
They don't rule the streets, we do.
Foxtrot 315, male detained.
Coming up, police come down hard on the drunk and disorderly. The thin blue line in the thick of it had a Chelsea versus West Ham derby.
Do you understand? You don't do things like that. You don't get it verbal. You keep it still.
And a family row that involves a Gypsy King and a neo riot on a local estate. The police control room has just taken a 999 call about an attempted carjacking and a violent attack on 3 members of a Polish family. PC's Dave Smythe and Ken Ford of Hammer Smith and Fulham's elite robbery squad immediately respond.
The call we've had is stating that a guy in his car on the A40 has been attacked with baseball bats and someone's tried to actually take property off him. So, I mean, it's not often that you get like 4 guys jump out and attack a car with baseball bats unless there's some previous history. So we're going to go and find out what exactly has gone on.
Arriving at the family's house, the first thing they see is damage on the car.
Hello there. Can we go and sit down and have a chat or something?
It also looks like one of the men has a head injury.
You're holding your head? Yeah. Were you involved in the incident? Yeah. Can you come out here as well and have a chat?
First impressions are that this family has been a victim of a vicious attack.
We see people just coming up to the car, banging the car, give us the car, get out of the car. You know, like police bats they got.
Police bats?
Yeah, like police bat.
No, what, like this?
No, not that one. The other one, the big
the big black ones?
Yeah, the big black one.
Oh, they had acrylic battens.
According to the alleged victims, the attackers had other weapons. The man claims he was attacked with a spade like this.
Right. They were trying to break into the windows. Give us a car, give us a car.
At the front of the house, the men show the officers how their car was supposedly attacked.
Banging.
Okay, yeah.
We guys start horning, and the man moved,
So there was just 2 guys in just throughout the whole attack?
Yeah.
And one of them definitely put their hand around about there somewhere?
Believing that this has been an attempted robbery, a SOCO, a scenes of crime officer, has been requested to take fingerprints from the car. Last year, over 30,000 robberies were committed in the Metropolitan Police area. The dedicated teams of Hammer Smith and Fulham's Robbery Squad leave no stone unturned in trying to bring down this number. Back at the house, PC Ken Ford is worried that this incident could be about some sort of vendetta.
Is there any sort of like disagreements you had back in Poland that have followed you?
But as PC Ford is building up a profile of the alleged attackers, one of the men suddenly sees something out of the window. Unbelievably, it's the suspects.
F8 from 643, can we have more units to Crackdown close, please? We've got the suspects have just turned up.
Outside, it's chaos, and this seemingly ordinary investigation has now turned into an explosive situation.
Hello, gentlemen. What's going on here? What's happened here? Hey! What's happened here? What's happened here? Police!
Confronting the men, PC Ford has noticed that one of them seems to be hiding something under his shirt.
What's this?
And the family who'd claimed they'd been attacked rush out to join the ruck.
All units here now, please, on the hurry up.
One man has slipped past the 2 PCs and has rushed the family with something in his hand.
Get back!
With their backs against the wall, outnumbered by more than 6 to 1, the two officers have not only to drive the attackers back, but also keep the family from getting into the fight as well. Finally, they manage to put some space between the two groups, but the family still wants to get into the action. Other police units are now rushing in to take a grip on the situation.
It's not it, all he's nicking for a fray now. Fray? You're under arrest for a fray.
But even while the arrests are going on, some men still want to get at each other.
You, come here now! Come here!
It's an arrest fest, and with more units streaming in, PCs Ford and Smythe seem to have averted a major incident.
You're nicked for a fray. He needs to be nicked for a fray. This fella here had an offensive weapon. He had a crowbar on him. He's just got rid of it. You're nicked as well. Yeah, it is nicking for a fray. I've nicked him. I just need your cuffs. It doesn't matter what you had.
With backup arriving from all over the borough, the family who said they'd been the victims still seem intent on winding things up.
You, come here! Come here! Right, go inside. Take your family in the house. Take your family. I need to have a word. No, I'm chatting with him. Go inside. Go inside now. You, stop winding things up.
At last, the situation has been diffused, but the attackers don't seem to know what they've done wrong.
I don't know where you think you are. You don't come down here and start trouble on these streets. Do you understand? So I don't know how many we've got next, so I'm sorry. They're all in for a fray.
Like some sort of organised outing, the men are sorted and put into various cars and vans.
3, 4, 5. Some of my favours. Right, mate. Mate, I'm sorry, I'm not having that. You're involved.
With the arrested men in the police vans, the search for any weapons begins.
Someone attacked you with a knife? No, must have thrown it away somewhere.
What started as an investigation into a supposed carjacking has now turned into a full-blown family feud that traces its origins all the way back to Poland.
I just found this out from the Polish interpreter that I was dealing with that night. And she was telling us that they were actually Polish gypsies and that they were having a long-running family feud. There's been a dispute between a married couple within the family. We haven't really quite got to the bottom of actually what the dispute is because they won't tell us. She was telling us that what they do, they'd gone to the Polish Gypsy King because apparently there is a Gypsy King in Poland and they have to ring him up when they have any problems or disputes like this. And I had to tell them that unfortunately, you know, the Gypsy King hasn't got jurisdiction over here and that you've all committed offences on the Queen Streets.
I've arrested all of them. I've arrested all of them.
Coming up, the suspect who speaks nothing but double Dutch.
And you're related to the occupant of this property. You're not sure what her first name is, and you don't have her telephone number.
You normally go into the window, do you, when you visit your cousin?
And the thin blue line is pushed to the limit in a local derby between Chelsea and West Ham.
You don't do things like that. You don't get it verbal. You keep it stuck.
With almost 200,000 residents, the West London borough of Hammer Smith and Fulham is one of the most densely populated inner-city areas in the country. But on certain days, an extra 50,000 can come storming into the area.
This borough is unique in that we've got 3 big football clubs, Chelsea, Fulham and QPR. So we have to take a lot of our officers off to deal with that. Thankfully, football violence is almost a thing of the past compared to what it once was. That said, when people get drunk and they get passionate, they can sometimes get silly, and then we end up with some really nasty incidents.
At the early morning briefing, Chief Inspector Paul Switzer goes through the plan for Chelsea versus West Ham.
As with a lot of these games, a lot of intelligence comes in. We have had from the past where they may go and where they may play up and may perform. Parsons Green, Putney Bridge, and that's where West Ham fans have popped out.
Heading up today's task force is Chief Inspector Keith Overstall.
Today's game's Chelsea-West Ham. Obviously it's London derby. Traditionally it's always been quite high profile. There has been trouble in the past. But in essence, we've got 42,000 people. 3,000 of them are visiting fans from West Ham. The vast majority of supporters want a safe journey here, enjoy the game. But unfortunately, certainly with some clubs, there will be a minority of people who are looking at an opportunity to engage in disorder.
It's an hour before kick-off and the tension is beginning to build. Many of the fans arrive early to rack up the atmosphere and to down a couple of pints. Right opposite the Chelsea main gate is a pub which is a favourite drinking place for the home fans. It's where any visiting supporters will have to pass. With a heady cocktail of alcohol and adrenaline, if anything is going to kick off, this could be a flashpoint. Right on cue, hundreds of West Ham faithful are making their way past the pub.
A group of 400 West Ham fans at the top there, but they're not expecting them to walk down in ones and twos, they're expecting them to come down en masse.
So far, the fans seem happy to just hurl chants at each other. But to stop them hurling anything else, specially trained officers called spotters are ready to identify the known troublemakers.
We've got spotters that are out from West Ham and our local station, and they know the faces, they know the people, they know the sort of issues that relate to risk supporters. So they're visiting pubs, locations where supporters are gathering.
As the West Ham fans near the entrance, the volume of chanting increases. With only minutes before kick-off, the tension between the fans has reached boiling point. A wall of police keep the Chelsea fans in the pub and allow the West Ham fans to get into the ground. But there is always someone that slips the net.
I've just had 2 complaints from 2 members of the public about your behaviour, that you were behaving aggressive towards them.
Rather than arrest the man, they issue him with a banning order, which means he's got to get out of the area and stay out, or he'll be taking a trip down to the station.
You're going home, all right? Yeah. You've obviously played your luck too much today, haven't you? And I think you've been more than lucky not getting nicked, pal. All right.
As the game gets underway, all the police can do now is brace themselves for the final whistle. Far from the crowds, on the other side of the borough, Robbery Squad officers have responded to a 999 call. Witnesses say they've seen a man climbing into a flat through a window.
Is anyone in the address?
No, no one's saying about I'm coming in the house.
So no one's in the address?
No, no one's said about.
So how did you get in?
Through the window.
Through the window?
Yes.
You climbed through the window?
Yes, this is the truth.
The man is claiming that he's gone into the flat to get his mobile phone.
How can we establish your side of the story? How can we prove that what you're saying is true?
Prove it. My granny's not in. I don't know where is she right now.
So you're related to the occupant of this property. You're not sure what her first name is,
no.
And you don't have her telephone number.
I have got it on my phone. But
I thought you said you phoned her before you came round.
Unconvinced of his version of who gave him permission to enter the flat, they then ask him what his mobile phone number is.
What's your old phone number?
07983 and then 078 or 83. I'm not sure what it's like that, but I know it's 83 down there.
Is an 8 and a 3 somewhere in the number?
Yeah, for the first 4 digits.
His story is not ringing true, so they decide to search him.
Now, it's quite a bit of money as well, isn't it?
What do you mean by a bit?
Oh, quite a bit of money, as in more than just a little bit. No?
It's not quite, because usually I have 700, that's not quite a lot of money.
You normally carry £700 or £800 around with you. Why is it folded over in...
Because I do kind of things like that.
You do that, do you?
Yeah, that's...
Put that back in your pocket.
No problems.
We search that, Katie. Yeah.
Why have I got that on me right now? Because this is not my money. I need to pass it over to someone else.
Pass it on to someone else?
Yes.
So it's not your money?
No.
But if it's not his money, whose is it?
And I borrowed of my wife's cousin money, and I borrowed it from £2,000 because I bought a car, and I paid them the money, and if I give him this to £300, I still need to give him £1,000 on top.
I'm getting confused, to be honest.
The police's patience is wearing thin, but they give him one more chance to explain what the money is for.
So you've got a car. What's the registration number? You don't know what the registration number is of your car?
The man now appears to have a car, but he doesn't know the registration number and doesn't seem to have insurance. The robbery squad's had enough and the man is arrested. Back at Chelsea's Stamford Bridge football ground, the final whistle is about to blow. Hammer Smith and Fulham police are bracing themselves for the fans to come out of the ground.
What happens here is the West Ham and the Chelsea fans all come out and mix. And let's put it this way, they ain't going to send Christmas cards to each other, these fans. So us in the middle there can stop the little cheap shot, a little bit of mucking about.
Slowly, the fans start to emerge. The good news for the police is the final score.
Like I say, it's just come through, it's 1-1. Hopefully that might be mild and we'll see how it goes.
As the minutes tick by, the trickle of fans turns into a flood. The police immediately jump in to pull out potential troublemakers before anything can kick off.
Yeah, you want to be a big, fine, yeah? You keep it still, otherwise we go the other way. Do you understand? You don't do things like that, you don't get it verbal, you keep it still. Do you understand me? Thank you, on your way.
Every time the police see trouble in the surrounding streets, they snuff it out before it can begin.
I ain't going to tell you again, mate, all right?
And they don't hold back in keeping the fans moving along.
Where you going, mate?
I'm on my own.
I know you haven't, mate. Don't be stupid, all right? Yeah, but listen, I know what you're doing.
Others need to be physically shown what to do.
You've been warned twice now. Move on now.
With alcohol fueling the situation, the police again form a human barrier to keep the fans apart.
Just keep an eye on this guy. Can you just, what I want to do here is just make sure this sort of area here, we don't get Chelsea hanging around with people in the queue, yeah? You take him down there, Frank. I appreciate that. Spending the night in the cells, all right?
But there is always someone who chances their arm too far. And when they do, they're nicked. One by one, those that kick off are pulled out. For the majority of the fans making their way home, it's been a peaceful match. They are unaware that it was the police's zero-tolerance attitude to troublemakers that kept it peaceful. Coming up, Hammer Smith and Fulham police go in hard against the gangs. Get tough on drugs.
I swear to God, I don't know what that is.
Right, to me, that is heroin.
And say no to antisocial behaviour.
I'll tell you what, it pissed me off, that's why it's amazing. I'm joking. What were you doing?
Within the 6 square miles of the West London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham, the Metropolitan Police come down hard on anyone who steps out of line. And they're even tougher on gangs and gang members. It is estimated that there are over 150 gangs in London with approximately 5,000 hardcore members. Hammer Smith and Fulham's police units show no mercy to any gang member they come across on their patch.
We've got a very positive policy, the way in which we deal with any youth gangs who are up to mischief or troublemakers or thieves. Quite simply, what we do is we suppress them, we get in their face, and we bully them so that they realise they are not the bullies on this area.
Hammersmith Police Station and the Drug Squad and the TSG are being briefed for a dawn raid. Their target is a suspected gang member who's boasted on the internet about guns and violence.
Linked to the MDP Street Gang and is now being linked to the newly formed IOC Gang, Intelligence Over Cops or Instruments of Cruelty. Obviously, as you're probably aware, the blue bandana is normally associated with MDP, and we're told that the IOC are using a black and white one. He flashes firearms. This is down to the fact that he posed on the internet with a firearm. He's rapping about drugs and guns and stabbings.
Under cover of darkness, the TSG, the Metropolitan Police Territorial Support Group, assemble outside the suspect's home. There's no messing about. These boys go in hard. The entry is executed with surgical precision, but the suspect isn't there. Although the police intelligence was good, the house is empty.
Yeah. Well, we've done what we could, mate. We've done all the research that indicated that was what was happening here.
Undeterred, they move on to the next address where another suspected gang member is reported to be living. The element of surprise is essential in any forced entry, and when this elite unit goes in, it goes in fast and loud. But this entry is causing more noise than usual. They've tripped the burglar alarm. The raid is successful. They've caught the suspect and the search is already turning up some interesting items.
I don't like him. No. We found some cannabis in there. Yeah. There's groups, a piece of paper with gang members on. Oh, right. This book about shootings and brilliant. We need to speak to him at the station.
Is that a bomb?
Upstairs in the subject's bedroom we found a quantity of cannabis, some digital weighing scales and some literature indicating that he's involved in gang-related violence, which was what the intelligence we had on him was about anyway. So it's kind of like confirmed that. At this stage, I mean, he's a juvenile. He's been arrested on suspicion of supplying drugs, and he'll be taken back to the police station and interviewed.
This suspect is taken back to the police station for questioning. But they have not given up on the search for the main suspect. Intelligence has now come up with new information on an address where the main suspect gang member might be found. Surrounding the home in West London, the TSG quickly gain entry.
We've got a warrant to search the place, you might have gathered, under the Misuse of Drugs Act. You want to come this way?
The suspect they've been hunting for is quickly taken into another room for questioning.
Come in here and join us, sit on the end of the bed there. A lot of space under. Very quiet this morning, not like the way you come across on your YouTube or MySpace, giving it all the bigging about guns and gangs and all that. Like a church mouse this morning.
Under questioning, the suspect is not as hard as he'd like people to think he is.
So I thought you were a big gang member. You go around in gangs threatening people, and you're starting to cry.
Part of the drug squad's zero tolerance policy is to keep hassling the gang members so that they get the hard message. Pack it in, or they'll take them in.
My advice to you, mate, is you pack the gangs up and you pack the going around bullying people and robbing people. Otherwise, we'll be on your tail again. He's an absolute baby. He gives the impression that he's this big gang member. Portrays himself on bloody MySpace and YouTube. He's crying in there. He collapsed on the bed.
The police also keep up the pressure on gang members by telling the parents what they think their children are up to.
What worries me is who was mixing with. There's photographs in his phone of two people that are serving time for murder.
You're just concerned about the people that he's hanging around with. I think you should be as well.
I am, but I mean...
Well, you don't seem to be too bothered about it.
He goes to Shepherd's Bush.
Right. Right.
No, he goes to Shepherd's Bush to get young kids to run drugs for him. Okay? He might tell you he's going to see his mother. He's in the street gang and has been for some time. Yeah? Rapping on the internet about knives and guns and shooting people. That's your son. You'd say he goes to Shepherd's Bush, he's all innocent, going to see mum. Oh no. Your son is running drugs. That's why we're here.
This youth, and more importantly his parents, have just got the message that Hammer Smith and Fulham police will not tolerate gangs. With over 22,000 crimes a year, Hammer Smith and Fulham's police are trained to come down hard on anyone they catch committing a crime. Of all the different squads in the borough, the spearhead in the fight against crime are the uniformed response units, known simply as Team.
No worries.
On routine patrol, the Team unit of PC's Emma Hastings and Martin Warnes have just stopped a car for going the wrong way up a one-way street. When questioned, the man seems only too pleased to help them.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's alright.
One of the reasons that Hammer Smith and Fulham police are so good in tackling crime is that they're not easily taken in, as this unusually polite man is about to find out. On checking the car, PC Warnes finds broken up cigarettes and evidence of possible drug use.
cigarette in your car, stuff like that. So
he's probably with friends or something.
all right, well, it's all associated with smoking of cannabis. Do you see what I mean?
Yes,
so
yes.
That's why I asked. We'll talk about it in a minute if we need to.
While PC Hastings is checking out the man's details, his licence appears suspect.
Have you got a full or a provisional licence?
I've got a provisional licence, but somebody else has added to my...
Where is your L plates?
No, somebody else has added to my insurance, and that's who I'm going to wait for.
Where is your L plates at the moment? They're not on the car, okay. Does your passenger have a full driving licence?
No, the person...
Does your passenger at the moment have a full driving licence? Therefore...
With no full licence or L plates, PC Warns has only one option.
And I have no choice but to seize your car from you, okay?
If the loss of his car is not bad enough, things are about to get even worse.
Been looked in the car, we've spoken about the cannabis issue. You are going to be detained for the purposes of search for drugs, okay, under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act.
On searching his car, PC Hastings finds something that is about to turn this man's evening into even more of a nightmare.
Martin, that is on the floor outside the driver's door.
Right. What's that, fella?
I don't know what that is. I swear to God, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I swear
I'm just asking you what it is.
I swear to God, I don't know what that is. Who's been leaving things in my car? I can't believe this. I swear to God, I don't know.
But listen, it wasn't in your car.
Yeah.
It's on the road, literally by your door. So it almost looks as though you've got out, dropped it, and come around the side.
Oh my days! I swear to God, I don't know what that is.
But everyone says that to me, fella. All I'm asking for is a bit of honesty.
Despite the man's denials, PC Hastings checks out the contents of the packet.
Right, to me, that is heroin. Martin, to me, that looks like heroin. Yeah. It's brown powder. It's a small little wrap there. Don't know if you can see that, but it's a slightly sort of brown, sandy colour. If it was cocaine or crack or whatever, it would be a little bit whiter. To me, that looks like heroin. To me, looks a little bit like heroin. But I'm going to arrest you, right, on suspicion for possession of a Class A drug, right, which I believe to be heroin, all right?
What first started out as a routine traffic offence has now turned into something far more serious.
Thanks, Foxtrot 2.
Arrested for possession of a Class A drug, the man is led to the van. His passenger is also being taken to the station. In the search room back at the station, they find that the polite man had 7 wraps of drugs in his underpants. They also found that the address he'd given was false. In the London Metropolitan Police area, there are over 30,000 robberies a year. Figures are falling, but for the elite officers of Hammer Smith and Fulham, one robbery is always one too many.
Sheriff H4, we're just down the road.
It's early evening rush hour. PC John Reeves from the Hammer Smith and Fulham Robbery Squad is responding to a call from PCSOs, Police Community Support Officers, for assistance.
Hello, mate.
Yeah.
What have we got?
Leave the chap there.
Yeah.
They've stopped a man with a bin bag which contains a laptop, handbag and a wallet which they suspect is stolen. While the man is searched, officers discover that the laptop is still warm and guess it must have been used recently. They also find a digital camera, so the first check is to see if anyone has reported a theft.
Yeah, have you had any reports of any bag snatches, any domestic or residential type burglaries in the last sort of half an hour?
Still negative, nothing in the last half an hour.
If they are stolen goods, it could be that the owner is still unaware of the theft.
5:30, okay, I'm arresting on suspicion of handling stolen goods. Can you hands out like that for me? I think we're doing 18.5 now, don't you? Yeah.
The officers decide to issue an 18.5, which in police speak allows them to search the man's home. But neither the man nor his daughters want that to happen.
Stand still. Stand still. No, she's not. Just settle yourself down.
I've been collected. No, you can take the piss.
With the daughters racing off to protect his house, the man still won't accept what's happened and doesn't want them to search his property.
You don't understand, it ain't nothing in my fucking house. You think I'm silly?
Well, then it's no problem then, is it?
There is a problem, yeah.
Why is it a problem?
Because I have neighbours there. That's the problem, right?
I've just found you in possession of what I believe to be stolen goods, okay? Which is why you've been arrested.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing that,
Yeah.
then you're going to expect to have the police on your door, aren't you? Aren't you?
No,
yeah.
no, not really.
Well, yeah, really.
No.
Yeah, really. Because that's just the way it is, isn't it? You know the score as well as I do, fella. If there's nothing in the house, it doesn't matter then, does it? And it won't be a problem, won't be an issue, will it? Right, come on then.
Issue or not, the suspect is arrested and taken to the station.
Happy? Good.
Across the other side of the borough, it's another busy night for Sergeant Chris Penman and PC Ken Ford of the Robbery Squad. They're searching for a suspect when they get a call for assistance from some colleagues about a man who is kicking off in the street.
Hello, mate. What's up? What's up? Anywhere?
Yeah?
You're not going anywhere.
Watch out, man. Watch out.
All right, but you're not going anywhere. So just wait a minute.
Explain to you what's happening. Look, freaking food's getting cold, man.
Hey, whoa, where you going? You stand here, all right?
I told you a second ago.
Hold on a minute.
Don't touch me.
Calm yourself
No,
down.
don't touch me.
Calm,
Look
don't
me,
shout
man.
at
Don't
me.
look down there.
All right,
Don't
okay.
touch me.
While PC Ford is trying to calm things down, Sergeant Penman has to deal with his friend.
Calm yourself down, mate.
Piss.
If you shout at me one more time, you're going to get nicked.
Nick for what?
For shouting at me. Section 5 public order. You've been warned.
Can't do that hard.
You've been warned.
Time must be friggin' hard.
You've been warned.
Time
Right,
must be
swear at
friggin'
me
hard.
one more time.
All right.
Don't raise your voice.
Stand close to me. You might get chicken in your mouth.
Okay, listen, mate. I'm warning you.
One more.
Don't swear at me.
Hurry up. Just get
Don't
the
shout at me.
Hurry up.
The man is pushing his luck, and PC Ford is not going to tolerate his abusive behaviour much longer.
I'll tell you what. Pissed me off. That's why. So amazed.
What, you
No,
Section
I'm
5
joking.
public order.
I wasn't talking. What are you doing? Mate, I didn't even shout. I wasn't even talking to you. I did not take the piss
Yes,
off.
you did. You did.
I did not say piss off.
Yes, you did.
I said I'm pissed off.
You told me to.
Believe me, I wouldn't say that, man. Come on.
Mate, you had your chance.
Oh,
I warned you on a number of occasions.
All right, I beg you let go now. This is friggin' hurting now, yeah?
Is that better?
Bend forward to sit.
Oh, for God's sake.
There you go, the van.
As the man is led to the van, he still can't believe he's being arrested.
You'll be nicked.
Are you friggin' serious?
I told you what you've been arrested
Tell me this is a
for.
hoax, mate.
No, mate, it's not a
Tell me
hoax.
this is a friggin' hoax. Friggin' hell.
Okay, mate.
Back at the nick, the man is led to the charge sergeant.
Okay, Sarge, this gentleman's been arrested for Section 5 public order.
Charged and searched, it's been an expensive night out.
He's getting an £80 fixed penalty notice for disorder. If he could just listened to what we'd said, you know, he would have been out of there, gone.
Coming up, police come down hard on the drunk and disorderly. A man who appears to have been viciously beaten up.
So they beat you up in the shop and then you smash the window.
And London's relentless war on drug dealers. Throughout the country, drug use is on the increase, with over 200,000 drug-related arrests every year. But it's Londoners who are most likely to use Class A drugs like heroin and crack cocaine. In taking on the fight against the dealers, Hammer Smith and Fulham's police are clamping down on anyone who trades in drugs.
My message to drug dealers anywhere in the boroughs, Hammer Smith, Fulham, be aware of the fact that we're on your case and we will continue to hunt you down and put you in prison for as long as we possibly can. We will get you.
Dawn, and officers from the Drug Squad and the SNT, the Safer Neighbourhood team, are preparing to make a forced entry on a suspected crack den. Silence and the element of surprise as they approach are essential. And when these officers go in, they go in hard, fast, and with the maximum of noise. So fast is the entry that they catch the suspect still in his bed. As each room is reported clear, the drug squad begins to search the house for evidence of drugs.
Have we got a crack pipe through that?
Split into teams, the painstaking search begins. Everything that is found is logged and photographed. Soon they start to get results as drug paraphernalia is bagged and brought out.
I don't know why most of them seem to be Martell bottles. These are track pipes.
No stone is left unturned, and while the suspect is waiting for his trip to the nick, the sniffer dog arrives to ramp up the hunt. With the dog working his sector, the drug search teams are flushing out more finds.
That's cling film. What you'll notice, normal cling film wrap would be about that sort of length. What the person's done is they've cut the cling film tube that length. It makes it easier for wraps. Because they're using it for wrapping crack cocaine, basically.
Another officer has found what appears to be drug wraps, and it looks like he's hit the jackpot.
What have we got?
What looks like at least one lottery ticket wrapping around some crack.
Is it crack or just straight coke, you reckon?
Right, granular.
So probably crack.
It's probably crack.
Yeah. Sergeant. Got a wrap.
Alright. So
looks like crack.
Alright. So then enough to confirm it's powder, that'll do. Yeah, exactly the same the other one.
So 2 wraps.
More and more items are being brought out to be taken away for evidence. And for the police, it looks like a result in the war against drugs.
Okay, summary so far, we've got 2 wraps of what we think is crack cocaine. We've got various items of drugs paraphernalia, cut cling film, 2 crack pipes. We've also recovered 10 Oyster cards, which we think are stolen, which we're going to check on.
Another weapon that the police have in their fight against the drug dealers is that they can get a house sealed and boarded up to stop it being used by anyone.
Because of what we found here today and speaking to various witnesses, because of the urgency of the case, we're going to take this matter to court tomorrow, hopefully. By the end of the week, this premises will be closed down and will not be available for any crack dealing in the future.
As darkness falls over Hammer Smith and Fulham, the uniformed response team of PCs Hastings and Warnes are responding to a 999 about an alleged assault.
We've been called to a coffee shop. It states that they've detained a male inside the coffee shop who's smashed up their shop.
Arriving at the scene, the first thing they see is a man lying in an alleyway.
Oh, what's happened to him?
PC Hastings immediately checks out a nearby coffee shop where there seems to be a trail of broken glass leading from the front door.
Seemingly, the gentleman's gone into this shop, smashed up the window of the door. There's a broken light up there as well, and the other gentleman's cut all his hand. But apparently he came into the shop in the state that he's in at the minute, with blood all over him, so don't really know what's gone on yet.
With the man lying either drunk or injured, it's hard for the officers to find out exactly what has happened.
Why did you smash the window of their shop?
They beat me inside. They beat me inside.
Why would they beat you up?
As all the Met Police are trained to a high level of first aid, PC Warne's first job is to see that the injured man is kept warm. Again, PC Hastings tries to find out what happened to the man.
Where have you been before you went to the coffee shop?
Drinking.
Drinking? Where were you drinking? At a girl's house? And why did you try and get in the coffee shop?
Well, I bought a chat.
You did what?
Bought a chat, innit?
You wanted to buy chat? Did you have money to pay for it?
Yeah, I did. I still got money to. And they beat me up.
So then why did you smash their window?
Because they beat me up. And they bring me out and they bring me here. This alleyway and beat me up.
So they beat you up in the shop and then you smashed the window?
Yeah, and they brought me here.
And did what to you here?
They hit me everywhere.
How many of them did it?
4 of them.
4 of them?
So far, it looks like the argument was about buying some chat, a hallucinogenic leaf that is chewed. But while the paramedics prepare the man for hospital, the police will have to wait before they find out exactly what happened.
Well, there's been an altercation in the cafe. Apparently he's gone in, tried to buy some chat or something. Then there's been a fight. They've thrown him out and he's come back and thrown a brick through the main door window. And then they've dragged him down there apparently and beat him up, carried on beating him up. Who knows? Who knows really what went on? He's a bit drunk at the minute, so we're going to take details, follow him up to hospital and then do some inquiries after that when he's slightly more sober.
With all its pubs, clubs and bars, London is one of the busiest night spots in the country. It has more than its fair share of people who come in to enjoy a drink and have a good time. But over 50% of London's violent crime is linked to drinking. Hammer Smith and Fulham's police show no tolerance to anyone who drinks too much in their borough.
As with everything on this borough, we simply will not tolerate antisocial behaviour. So if people are being drunk, violent or abusive on the street and threatening the public, we do what the public expect us to do, which is deal with it and take them off to the police station.
It's late on Saturday night, and officers are responding to an incident on a busy West London street. After a long shift, PC's Martin Warnes and Emma Hastings of the team arrive to find a man and a woman screaming that they've been insulted by a passerby.
He's calling me a fat. Yes,
I get the idea about what he called you, but don't keep repeating it.
Right, don't keep
Trying to stop the woman repeating what she was called only seems to wind up her boyfriend.
If you give details, excuse me.
If you give details, I ain't meeting you.
With the man unable to keep his mouth shut, the police decide to separate them so they can find out exactly what has happened.
We need to take your details so we can say we spoke to you, all right? It's a record for us. Just, what's your surname?
Where's he gone then?
He's standing over there. But we need your details as a record to say we spoke to you, all right? That's all we're taking your details for.
As PC Hastings is still trying to get the woman's details, the man appears to rush forward and grab her.
Give him no details, just go, man. You ain't got.
What are you doing? No! Get away from me! Get away from me!
Right, because he just pushed a police officer out the way, right?
Yeah,
for what
Jim
reason?
doesn't answer me.
He doesn't do a very good job, does he? He told you if you spoke to one, you'd have to go home on your own. Doesn't care about you that much, does he?
With the woman screaming the odds, the man then tries to headbutt an officer.
Camera do what?
Get on the floor. Get the fuck off me, man.
Yeah, please come away, please.
You reckon, yeah?
The police will not tolerate any show of force towards their officers, and having lost his freedom, PC Hastings once again tries to calm the man down.
Don't start talking to your missus because it'll just wind her up even more, all right? Just don't talk to her for a minute. Just stay calm.
But he's not having any of it.
Hey, Sarah!
Oh.
Don't say nothing!
Oh, see?
And neither is his girlfriend. So the police have only one option. It's off to the station for the pair of them. Still trying to tell his girlfriend what to do.
Don't say nothing, just tell them!
The man is taken into the station to be charged, all because he couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Oh, solicitor coming, don't worry!
Shut up, she can't hear ya.
Shut up, mate.
Coming up on Brit Cops Zero Tolerance, the series. On patrol with the Met Police, some of the most elite crime-fighting squads in the country. We're with the robbery unit as they take on the thieves.
I know your face, and I'm going to be looking out for you now.
And gangs.
Do you know who wears those colours?
We follow the rapid response teams as they put their lives on the line. And take on violent criminals. We're out with West London's drug squad as they take down the dealers. Our cameras capture all the action as these cops capture the criminals.